What's up? I got the dark saber. I have to remove my helmet, which is a no-no, but I got to do it. Hey guys, welcome to our review. I got helmet hair. My badass gift given to me by Ray, the dark saber.
That is pretty sweet.
It couldn't have been at a more perfect time. Actually, I had no idea this episode would be this way. But god damn,
This is the way.
is so fucking cool. This is the way. Yeah, so this week's, let me turn the dark saber off for a minute. This week's Book of Boba Fett episode is episode 5, in which features none of books nor Boba. I love it. I'm sorry to say that this episode, I don't know if I'm actually sorry to say, but this is the best episode so far.
That's sad.
Of Boba Fett, the best episode is The Mandalorian, somehow injected into our Book of Boba Fett. Okay, so yeah, we catch up with the Mandalorian and see what has happened since he had to give up Grogu to Luke Skywalker, and since he obtained the
Through combat.
dark saber, right? And immediately the episode opens showing how much more of a badass and
That's
how
I
it's
felt.
done
Yes. I felt
of
that.
what an actual, Mandalorian / bounty hunter or anybody wearing the armor should look like. What did you guys think of the episode?
I think Bryce Dallas Howard did a great job with this
Oh
episode.
my God,
It
I'm
was
so
just like a
fucking
good,
happy for her.
It felt like a good filler. Obviously, it's a filler, but it was done well.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is like it just makes me want more Mandalorian than Boba Fett.
Sure.
Like obviously he was not
Yeah.
in this at all.
It
I'm
kinda
like,
shows
okay,
you
yeah,
how
like and you,
good
like you
the-
said it. Like he just felt more of a badass than fucking Boba Fett did right
Mm-hmm.
now. So I don't know. I'm just thinking Book of Boba Fett just like average
Isn't it
compared to
s-
the Mando.
Yeah, isn't it so weird that like this? It's like it doesn't have Boba in it at all, and this is the Book of Boba Fett.
And I'm more intrigued in this. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think it's by far the best episode of this series. And you know what? I don't even think that this is a good episode if it was in the Mandalorian series. But this wouldn't be an amazing top tier episode in the Mandalorian. It's just a really good episode.
For me, it would have been actually.
You think it'd
I
been
think it's a
like-
top tier episode in it. Oh well, I get what you're saying. There's some story elements. I think it's still a top tier episode. Now, is it top tier action episode? Maybe not.
No.
but it's still really good.
I think
episode.
I think it's towards the top of Mandalorian. I don't think it's even one of the best, but this is far and away better than anything we've seen in Boba Fett. I love when he's fighting the Clatoonians, little bulldog people. Watching it covering Rufus's eyes, just going, no, don't look at him.
Clatoonians, huh?
And I don't have any issues with his motivations. I like some of the action sequences. Now there was what felt like an hour and a half long 80s montage of
Yes,
putting
that's
together
what
the
I felt like.
Naboo fighter. I'm like, all right.
I liked it.
It was way, way, way too long. It just it
That's how I
added,
felt.
and it didn't really add anything to the story. But I really like this episode,
Montage.
and I think it does such a disservice to the rest of the episodes that by comparison, this one is good, and everything else that we've seen just looks worse. And I know that we're going into we're going to meet up in the mods and Mandalorian, and I just want Jin to walk up to those idiots on their bikes and just kill them.
Yeah.
And just go, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to work with them. I know he's not going to because
No.
it's Disney and where those kids are here to stay. But
Unfortunately.
I like this one, and it's sad. I'm upset. I liked a Boba Fett episode that didn't have Boba Fett in it.
It makes no sense. We got the dark saber heavily featured in the episode. The dark saber itself is fucking one of a kind, made by many ancient times years ago. A Jedi who became a Mandalorian and led pretty much all of Mandalore. And whoever wields the weapon supposedly can lead Mandalore. This episode basically gives us a lot of exposition on what happened. Kind of fixes some plot holes that had before regarding some helmet usage, regarding Bo-Katan getting the saber and what happened there. It actually has a really fucking cool Siege of Mandalore scene, the Night of 1,000 Tears that was so cool to watch. It's like we've never really seen, the Empire try to glass a planet in live action, and we got that here with TIE bombers. So this is the lower method of doing it. Instead of orbital bombardment, they pretty much fucking carpet bombed all of Mandalore, and then had this really cool Terminator-esque like thing where it's like, yeah, we're not sending fucking stormtroopers to deal with Mandalores. They get their asses kicked. Let's send in some of these battle droids. So you got some battle droids shooting at. I was hoping for a few more fucking of Bo-Katan's Mandalorians fighting back, but you don't see any of them, really. They were completely surprised, and they're shooting at the wreckage. You're just supposed to sort of imagine that they're all caught under the wreckage and being fucking obliterated. So that was really fucking cool. And, this episode really has nothing to do with Boba, and it has more to do with what Mando has been doing and drops hints and teases of what we're going to see in The Mandalorian Season 3. And I was very happy for it. So we got action, we got badassery. In the action scenes, I was never like, use your fucking jetpack. He uses his fucking jetpack. Like, it's so much more well-directed and script-doctored that it's like, God damn, it's a fucking shame.
Have her do some more stuff.
Yeah, Dallas Bryce Howard for sure. She's got the director bug in her now from her father, and man, she really does a great job here because last time, she was in an interview I was seeing it. She was being handheld a lot by John, and as she's doing this, and I feel like her episode is getting even better, so she's actually coming into her own and doing so. So, of course, better directed than Robert Rodriguez, which is crazy to me. That's unfortunate, or awesome, whatever way you look at it.
If you like them kids,
yeah,
damn augments,
fucking the mods. I don't give a shit so much about the mods. You guys are concentrating so much on the mods. I don't want the audience to downvote us saying, "Oh, it's just the mods." It's everything. The mods are just one small part of why we have a problem with those previous episodes.
No,
and
like, Boba Fett doesn't feel like Boba Fett.
Well, so you can't even say that because they're like, oh, well, you don't know Boba Fett. It's like, look, I understand what a bounty hunter is. We've seen what Boba Fett did in The Mandalorian, and we understand what. The very first thing that we see of the Book of Boba Fett is him shooting Bib Fortuna in the fucking face for no reason.
Fucking cool.
For no reason. He just walks up to him and goes, I'm taking your empire. And then immediately from that scene, he goes, don't flash your gun because you could scare someone. And we don't lead by fear. Yeah. It's like, you just shot a crime lord in the face to take his throne.
Yeah.
Where is that guy? That is the problem with this show.
We have
shot
to
him in The Mandalorian.
Neutral.
Yeah, shot it. Yeah, but
it wasn't in Book of Boba Fett.
So this is terrible.
Whatever initiative happened in the production meetings and shit for Book of Boba Fett, it could have did us disservice. So I have a little segment here that we'll look. We're going to actually examine this because this has become a problem, and I see that's the narrative everywhere where Boba Fett's not as much of a badass and he's kind of a wimpy bitch. So I've listed Boba Fett's badass moments. I've listed his fuck-ups, and you guys can add to it or take away from it, and we can talk about that. Right now, in fact, and then we'll do the episode summary. But, in fact, let's just go ahead and give this episode a rating first. So we'll start with Joe. What did you think about this particular episode?
This episode, for me, was like almost an 8 and 9, but it also felt like a filler because of the long montage of him fixing the vehicle. But it's still great. I still really enjoyed this, but, again, I feel like it does a disservice to the Book of Boba. Because I'm not really looking forward to those episodes.
So, yeah, it's difficult
much.
to rate. It's like, is it a good Book of Boba Fett episode?
Yeah.
Not really.
But
it's an excellent Mandalorian episode.
Yeah, because like sneaking in that one is like, all right, this is what's going to happen. It's like, well, I can't wait for that. That sounds badass.
Sure.
And then I want to see Grogu again.
Okay, let's try to rate it. So don't rate it as a Book of Boba Fett episode. Rate it as it's like as an episode. Did it execute what it wanted to do effectively?
Yeah, I would say high 8. I'm going to go with an 8. It's a little montage.
The montage wasn't. Shut up, Joe. That's his opinion. Not your
It's a
opinion.
long-ass montage.
It is.
No, it's not that
I'm just
long.
saying, it's still good. It's still good.
Sure, go ahead.
I think this is the highest I've given one of the episodes of this
Yeah,
series.
I mean, if we compare it to the Book of Boba Fett, and it's on that scale, this episode's a 12.5 out of 10. Like everything else has been.
I think that's what I did.
Yeah, it's like what's sad.
That's how I did.
What's sad about it is like again going from like the last couple episodes to this. I mean, the contrast is insane.
Yeah.
There is a couple things that they're like, oh, we don't use Beskar to make weapons. It's like, yeah, you do. You even see them. The little screaming memes, noisy cricket things that explode. It's like those are Beskar. Lady, shut up. You're lying to me. So there's a little things that they're missing here and there. But I still think this is a great episode. If we're going over like the whole scale of things, I'm trying not to let how bad the other ones are like impact my decision, but I think it's like a 9 as like a standalone.
Yeah.
But it makes the other episodes go down. Like
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
sucks.
gonna,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you're
make,
right.
I'm gonna keep this one at like an 8 or a 9. I'm gonna say
you
a
go
9,
9.
but
9,
like
9.
all of the other episodes are now 2s, all of them.
I'm going 10 out of motherfucking 10. Like the
That's
fucking
fine,
montage of building his own new ship, earning its right as its place amongst, Din Djarin and also Grogu. The potential. I see what they're about to do with the hollowed out droid area. I liked it. And it brought back, it tied in the fucking prequel. It didn't take up too much time for me. It was just a separate thing where it's like the underbelly, the mechanic side of thing. With the strangers of, the lady in Strangers with Candy, her performance can be kind of good and awkward and bad at times, but I think it's just kind of supposed to be on purpose because she's such a eccentric mechanic. So, but this episode had so many other great parts, really highlighting why we like The Mandalorian and what we were hoping for and to see in the Boba Fett series. And it presses the story forward. It fills in the gaps. It even fixed some plot holes in the lore. It's a fucking 10 out of 10, in my opinion. And that the mechanic scene doesn't take away from it at all.
For me, I think like if they would have shortened the mechanic scene and do like a little brief thing with Bo-Katan or something, I would have probably raised it to like
Bo-Katan, I
9, 10.
think-
Like she goes back and like she's talking about the sword or something.
this-
a little something else as opposed
Well,
to
Joe,
like
we're
switch
not
out.
turning it into a Mandalorian. Remember,
Well, I'm
within
already
what
down
it's
for
supposed to-
Mandalorian. It was a whole thing.
You want to take a
That's what they did.
mechanic montage scene. You want to cut it in half, which would give you what 3 additional minutes, and then you want to put Bo-Katan in the 3 minutes. No, it's not. And then you want to pay her. She's getting her own spin-off series. You're getting Mandalorian season 3, guys. Let's move on.
Well,
all right,
I'm-
so that's 10
I'm just-
out of 10.
Well, I'm saying that I didn't take a point away. Just the mechanic scene is the biggest downfall. There was awkwardness.
Sure, yeah.
The Forge Master was awkward and almost shitty. There's a lot of little things that I pull some points away from here and there. That's why it goes down. It's
Why
not just.
didn't you like? Okay, well, let's just go into the episode summary,
Yeah.
and then we can go into those individual things. So, wow, in one scene, Mando just basically proof of concept of what Book of Boba Fett could have been. He's doing a bounty. Literally fucking murders the guy with the darksaber. I didn't see it coming, It's just being with Boba, who's being nice. I'm like, holy fuck, you just murdered that guy.
He's like, he's
fucking
here. He's
split
like,
him
how
in
do you
half.
know?
And he didn't need to.
Yeah,
what was
he
the
didn't-
best thing is like he has this guy. He could just do whatever he wants to him. He's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm cutting you in
Right,
half.
because you fucking pissing me off.
Yeah.
I love how Din Djarin doesn't take any fucking shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? And he's not the most badass fighter. And this is another thing I like. He's getting his ass kicked simultaneously while kicking ass. Because he has the Beskar armor, he is taking shots. He's getting hit.
Well, he's not use the darksaber.
And in fact, hurts himself with the darksaber, I believe, which leaves him limping. So he takes a bunch of damage, but his armor deflects a ton of it. That's that kind of tension. That's that kind of humanity and vulnerability that makes fights interesting. The very next scene, we get Halo fucking ring in Star Wars. That is so cool. The visuals there alone elevate this episode more than anything that we've seen in Book of Boba. Book of Boba and Star Wars in general have had this Tatooine problem where they keep going back to desert planets. So to see something new, unique, and interesting,
Breath of fresh
not
air.
really unique because we've seen it in Halo, but we know,
still
hey, it's sci-fi, and of course they'll have their own variation on it. And then, like I said, he doesn't take any shit from his employer. So he goes to collect his bounty, and these rich people are like, sit down with us. And he's like, look, Tell me what I need to know.
He means
I did your
business.
fucking bounty. And she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you shit. I was like, all right, well, then I'm fucking going, and I'm going to get this bounty elsewhere. And she's, okay. You know, it forces you to imagine, what would Boba have done in that situation?
Please,
Can I
be neutral.
Oh, no.
Can you be neutral,
But come on.
Okay,
What if I
I'll
do
say-
100 more bounties for you?
I will respect you, and I will eat with you. 7 hours later.
What if I give you my armor?
Shit, the Mandalorians moved.
Damn
They
it.
left the ring. Anyways, so
Sad.
the Mandalorian limping is in an elevator, have a fun little scene there. He rejoins his coven, and then we get an exposition dump, sort of kind of getting up what was going on. She talks, the armorer talks about the Great Purge. We actually see the Night of 1,000 Tears with the TIE bombers, the cool Terminator vibes, and it's just, I love it. It was awesome. Well done. And then these are big moments in the universe, and we get glimpses at it, and they're done well. Even with budget restrictions, they're still done super well. And then finally, we get kind of a tease here because he uses his Beskar spear, gives it to the armorer. And she's talking about how, Beskar is better used as defensively,
we
not
don't use it for
offensively.
weapon.
Right. So he's like, okay, make some armor out of it. And,
For a little one with big green ears. And it's just like,
yes.
and she even ties it up into a little
Yeah.
Grogu head. It's like, yes.
He's going to give some kind of Mando armor to, Grogu.
I was hoping it was a helmet, a mini helmet.
Right. He's talking about wanting to see him. And we made that poster, you remember, a
Yeah.
long time ago? We got the poster with the Mandalorian armor. So hopefully that comes to fruition. But it's confusing because the little package she gives him is nothing. There's nothing there. That's not
Like a little
armor. There can be no
bracelet or
armor.
something, I don't
There
know.
were rings, I think.
They were rings,
Yeah.
but is that in? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Little
So
necklace.
that's a
Chainmail.
little seed for the future. That seed for season 3. How is that going to turn into a full armor set? It's
I'm
not a
already
full
way
armor
more
set, so it's
intrigued.
not. It's not what I want it to be, or is it? I have no fucking idea. So we just have no idea. And then they kind of highlight how Jedi teachings are basically opposite to Mando teachings. Mando teachings is like loyalty, honor, respect, coven,
solidarity.
family, and Jedi's are detached. Don't have personal attachments to people. And this is going to set up a potential conflict or resolution in Season 3 between Grogu getting his Jedi training and Mando following the Mandalorian way. How are these two going to connect? Ultimately, I think Grogu's going to leave the Jedi Order and he's going to be more of a Mandalorian Jedi as the original owner of the Darksaber. That has a huge potential for that because, where does Grogu fit in the Jedi universe? He's just the most powerful Jedi. It's going to be fucking crazy.
They're going to have to make a real
there's
small one because, like,
multiple
you can't,
paths
that thing
here.
is 3 times bigger than Grogu.
Yeah. And
Like
then
a toothpick.
Yeah.
And then we get another badass action scene. He has trouble wielding the saber. He's training with the armor. I love it. It looks great. The actor, Pedro Pascal, does a good job of making it seem like the fucking Darksaber is goddamn heavy. He can barely fucking lift it at times. And she says it's because he's fighting what the Darksaber wants to do. And I like that kind of dark mythos and lore that they have behind the blade. And we have Jon Favreau's Mando character, the big guy, is like Paz Vizsla, who challenges him. He notices is like, well, maybe you aren't the one that should wield it. And it makes sense because man is like, hey, this is my opportunity. I could be a badass Mandalorian.
It's like through his ancestry, so he's the right.
Yep.
He's I should be the rightful owner.
So they
So-
fight, and it's a good fight, and they take their jetpacks off, and they fight man to man, and Din almost Djarin kind of loses. Well, he loses the Darksaber, but then he continues fighting and ultimately wins the fight when he gets the upper hand with the vibro blade at his neck. Armor stops the fight. There's not enough Mandalorians to
There's
actually go through it. Yeah, and that's another shitty part. She did mention there's only 3 of them left of the tribe. The tribe was large.
Of their
and
little
it's like,
sect,
oh,
yeah.
fuck, that sucks. Like, what happened? Well, we lost some of them, and I guess we lost a few more in between episodes. That sucks. But anyways, during this and at the end of the battle, she asks if, his helmet was removed. He says, no, I've honored the code. And then she asks our Mandalorian if he removed his helmet. And he has no response.
She's like, no.
He's removed. It's like, yeah, like 4 or 5 times. I don't
maybe.
remember.
Are you lying? No.
No. Why do you keep doing upward inflection? I don't know. He removed his helmet, and she immediately fucking banishes him. Well, you're no longer a Mandalorian, she says. And he's like, well, fuck, is there anything I could do? And why did he take his helmet off?
Which time?
Ultimately.
He was done.
Bill Burr told
Both
him.
times.
Bill Burr told him to.
In support of saving Grogu, in support of helping his friends. And that clashes with this Mandalorian creed, or at least the religious credo, the religious cult, because even Bo-Katan herself says these guys are kind of cultish. They follow the older way because she takes her helmet off.
Yeah.
So even though she also follows the Mandalorian creed, but I don't know. We're going to have to figure out why. Little looser. Hopefully that's mentioned in her series and shit. But anyways, she's not quite at that religious zealous that these guys are. And he immediately wants to make up for it. He says, how can I redeem myself? She's like, there's actually only one way. I thought there was no way, but there's one way. You have to go to Mandalore. You have to go underground in the mines and the waters of whatever. But because Mandalore was pretty much glass, they don't think it's possible. But maybe that's what we'll see in Season 3 in order to gain his tribe's respect. But my question to you guys is, why? You're going to gain the respect of 3 Mandalorians?
2.
And one tried to kill you. Fuck that
Well,
guy.
one tried to kill you, and the other one is kind of a
fuck that
jerk
guy.
and stole your sweet-ass spear for no reason.
Yeah. Oh, when she said 3, I thought that there was like a third one. But
No,
you're saying
there's-
it's Mandalorian.
Yeah, there's
It's
like
the third one.
there's a couple dozen with Bo-Katan, and then there's 2 crazy people, and it's just like...
But they don't
Yeah,
count.
why
'cause
would
they
I
took off
give a
their
shit?
helmets,
And I
so they
guess,
don't
I guess
count.
it matters if other Mandalorians are still following the creed, and it's just one extra thing that can help to legitimize his eventual leadership. But they're going to have to really justify that for me, because if he's just regaining the respect of the armor and his the big Mando. I don't.
There was a lot of awkwardness in this for me.
Yeah.
I love the fight scene here.
Yeah.
There was like some line delivery and then some weird ways that they kind of delivered. That's like, look, I don't hate it at all. I still really like it, but I'm going, like this is like a fraction of a point that keeps it from like that legendary rating where we've had some really solid dialogue. This doesn't feel like the solid dialogue that we've had before.
Commercial flight has no weapons, so immediately I was like, you just got this thing. Don't fucking put it in the goddamn thing. And he puts it in the goddamn thing. You would think that he would just do another bounty, and so he can get a private, instead of flying commercial, he can get a private flight. But no, he flies commercial, puts all his weapons in there so we can have a fun little comedy scene. But I just don't believe that literally this, which is a one-of-a-kind thing in the entire galaxy, he would put it up, in that. So.
I really wanted this scene to be him taking all of his weapons, and they're like, "Oh, what about that one?" Because no one knows what the fuck this is.
Right.
That thing
it's like,
it's a unicorn. That's a dragon unicorn.
It's a flash.
And it's just like he keeps it on him, and he makes some sort of excuse for it. And 1, he gets to keep with his creed, and 2, he gets to keep the darksaber. It's like, okay.
I think that one script doctor thing right there. But anyway, he's on the flight. The Rodian kid says hi to him. People, I think children and people can sense that he's a good person, even though he's fucking wearing badass armor and he looks like a bad guy or whatever. And then we go to back on the desert planet, which I think is his planet, Avarian 1 or something like that. We get a cameo of BD1. Or at least a droid of the BD type. It's probably not Cal. What's Cal's last name? Cal of the video game in Star Wars EA's video game Jedi Order. Cal Kestis or something like that. His BD is like the cutest fucking droid. We get to fucking actually see that. Now, I don't think this is BD1. I guess maybe it's like BD3. I kept looking at the subtitles to see does it say BD1? Does it say BD2? What does it say? I missed it. Maybe you guys can tell us. I think it was only referred to as BD. The little droid's in trouble because there's like a fucking rat monster attacking it.
Wombat.
It's a wombat.
Wombat, that's right. With the
Wombat?
ones that you shoot.
It's a wombat. I think it should be. I think it is a wombat.
Yeah, that they shoot. Luke shot. Anyways, got a little comedy scene there. The Mandalorian shows up, saves her, and he's looking for a replacement for the Razor Crest. And boom, we see a fucking Naboo fighter. It's like fucking crazy. At first I was like, I don't like Naboo fighters because I don't like that movie. I don't like when it first came out. I was like, man, I don't like the way these fighters look. But now, all these years later, and if you strip all the yellow paint off and you make it silver, I'm like, that kind of fucking fits him.
I thought it was going to be Anakin's.
Where the bounties go.
Other than the fact that it's really fucking tiny, right?
Yeah.
It's a one individual fighter, right? You cannot transport shit like you could the Razor Crest. But if you think about it, it's really fucking good because it's so goddamn fast. And she even upgrades it even further. And then that little bubble where the droid is supposed to go, she puts a bubble on top, and you know what's going to be in there. Little
His
Grogu.
weapons.
Little Grogu is going to be hitting buttons too while fucking Mando. I cannot wait. That's going to be a 10 out of 10 right there. Anyways, but it's a Nabooian fighter, and she keeps talking about how hard it is to find parts. I'm like, okay, then why use it? Like, you're going to get shot. It's going to be hard as fuck to find parts. But I guess maybe she's replacing it with easier to find parts and stuff, except for a legendary engine that she gets from some Jawas.
Yeah, it's a big blower they put on it. It's like, wait,
Which
what?
She
It's
gets
a
more
hot rod?
comedy.
Which she used to date.
Yeah.
Gets more comedy. She's
Jawa
a
sex,
dated
great.
Jawa. Not only does she
That was weird.
Does she know the Jawan language, so she's talking in Jawa, but she also says they're very furry.
Very furry.
And we didn't know this. This is a new lore thing because you never really get to see what Jawas are. So the Strangers with Candy Lady gets to tell us more about Jawas than
more
we ever
intimate?
knew.
Look, even in
a
the Star
funny-
Wars universe, it is
funny
important to manscape because otherwise people will be talking about you after the fact.
It's true.
Boom!
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Very furry.
Check out
Nice,
Manscaped.
nice. Click our links. Anyways, so they rebuild the Nabooian fighter with some custom stuff on there, and he goes test it out. It's fucking awesome. I love this scene because it's the exact same canyon from the
Baker's
pod
Canyon,
race. It's just so cool. It's extremely well done. And like I said, that droid part is hollowed out. It's perfect for Grogu. So even flies by the Rhodian kid in the commercial flight, or another Rhodian
I don't think it was
kid.
another one. I thought it was. I don't know.
I didn't know if it was the same exact
Yeah.
one. In the end of the episode, it was actually supposed to be a human child in some of the artwork, but it could have been a Bryce Dallas Howard situation where it's like, oh, well, wouldn't that be cool if it was the same kid that said hi to him earlier and these kinds of things. So he like says hi again, takes off. It's just real cool stuff. So he's just having fun, the time of his fucking life in this fighter, and then he gets pulled over by the police. Which are X-Wing fighters. X-Wing fighters, a cameo from our previous guy who respected him and let him go. And then we have a new guy who is, he's a younger guy, rookie on the ropes. Believe it or not, I have a tidbit. This is the guy that plays Luke Skywalker stand-in, right? Of course, they put the CGI face of Mark Hamill, but that's the guy that played Luke Skywalker's stand-in. So he gets his own little scene where he, gets to be an X-Wing fighter pilot, because I would always want to be an X-Wing fighter pilot. This is the fucking fighter stuff and X-Wings and shit is just amazing. That's why this stuff can go to a 10 out of 10 for me. And she's and then so he goes back home and she asks, "How was it?" What does he say? This is a wizard.
Yeah,
I was like, that's interesting in the Star Wars universe. Is that like
Space
a reference
wizards, that's what he calls them, right? Space wizards?
To something? Yeah, right. And then boom, we have the Boba. Boba butts in. The Boba part of the show
at that point,
butts
it's like,
in.
oh, shit, I forgot.
Shit. We're not
But I like
watching
Fennec, so it's
Mandalorian.
great.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the only part of Boba Fett I like. Fennec shows up. I was like, yeah, let's go kill Boba.
So Fennec shows up and asks for help, and she's
this
got
one's
a
on
lot
the
of money
house.
for him. And yeah, he should have took that money.
Yeah.
But he's like, all right, this one's on the house because I like you guys. And but he does say first, I gotta visit a friend. Now, do we think the next episode of Boba is him visiting Grogu, or do you think they're gonna save that for Mandalorian 3
save it.
and then just go to the part where he shows up after he visited his friend in a triumphant return,
Which
saving
friend?
them at the last minute?
Cara Dune, Carl Weathers, who's coming back?
It's Grogu. It's got to be Grogu because
Carl
he's got a little fighter now, and he's gonna. So, anyways, motherfucking 10 out of 10. I love this episode so much, and it just goes to show you how badass Mandalorian is. And then I heard the Book of Boba Fett theme song at the end, and I'm like, what the, I thought it was okay. I get it. And now, for a time there, I was thinking I liked the Book of Boba Fett theme song better because I liked the Book of Boba Fett theme song. So I went back and I watched The Mandalorian, and I'm like, oh wait, no,
It's way
The
better.
Mandalorian's way better. The theme song, but Book of Boba Fett theme song is really good. So now let's get into Boba being a badass. Badass Boba. Okay. So a lot of people are saying he's not badass. So I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to say, well, he is badass. And I think you guys are missing a bunch of scenes where he was a badass and forgetting about him.
Yeah, the introduction to Boba Fett in this Disney universe is him murdering a bunch of fucking people violently with all sorts of manners of weapons. That is our introduction to Boba Fett. So anyone who has immediately said that this Boba Fett is not a badass, go away. You're dumb. Did you not watch The
Well, we're going
Mandalorian?
to address this controversy.
I don't need
now,
it. No one deserves to address you. You are stupid.
So you got Boba Fett's badass moments. His first entrance, he kills a fuck ton of troopers. Of course, this is in The Mandalorian.
I was going to say that's.
Bib Fortuna. Of course, this is in The Mandalorian. So now
defense.
let's look at let's look at what he actually did in the Book of Boba Fett. Number one, he survives the Sarlacc pit, bursts out of it. He earns his place amongst Tusken Raiders. I mean, that's pretty fucking hard to do. And people may forget that he kills a fucking sand beast single-handedly
centaur.
without weapons. I mean, that's fucking badass and earns their respect. He plans, leads, and succeeds at training Tuskens to take down a fortified sci-fi train with guns and shit on it. That's pretty badass. And he survives 2 assassination attempts, granted with help.
He beats up an entire bar worth of biker gang before that. Like he just walks in there with a club and he beats the shit out of them.
Beats the shit out of everybody. Kills all the bikers with Slave One. That's his most badass moment. The people who hate him right now.
What was it called? It's not.
Even
that's not what
they
it's called.
agree with that. It's called the Slave One.
No, I checked.
The fire spray is the ship class.
Friendship.
Is what the
Disney
commenters
Friendship Barge.
would like us to. The Disney Friendship Barge.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all his badass moments. That's all I'm giving him. Is there any others that we're forgetting? I mean, there's tiny shit here and there, maybe. But I'm not giving him that first fight where he could have used his jetpack to get out of the ring or anything.
No,
I'm not giving
that
him letting assassins live. Okay, but now his fuck-ups. Okay, well, he lets a receptionist block and insult him not once, not twice, but 3 times without taking revenge. And they take agency away from his character when they let this random knife mod chick on her stupid fucking scooter, bright scooter, take that moment where it's like they best this receptionist, and then Boba comes over with his jetpack and doesn't fucking do anything. He apologizes to the cyberpunks like multiple times. He's in a bleeding heart.
I'm sorry, I insulted your fake eye.
And then also like helping them out when they're clearly being
Keep an
fucking
eye
dicks to him and shit. They want to fight him, and he's backing down and not fighting back, not showing his strength. Instead, he wants to hire them. I'm like, I'm not gonna hire these fuckers. Anyways,
Beat their ass. That's how you earn respect. The good old-fashioned way.
he doesn't seem to know how to drive Slave One. He doesn't seem to know how to drive his own ship. Like, at least effectively, when they're while Fennec is shooting down 50 guys, he's like ramming into the walls when he could have just shot and then exited.
Starlight pit.
And then he sticks his fucking
What are you doing?
I'm tired of working for idiots because I'm smart.
Don't push my buttons. I was like, she saved you.
Don't push my
saved
buttons
you.
anymore.
Forgets that he had the armor on when he gets out of the Sarlacc pit. Maybe I'll give him a break on that one because it's fucking groggy as shit as it's being ripped off of him. He forgets about having bombs on his ship to defeat the Sarlacc. Forgets about using and actually reprimands Fennec for saving his life. And then finally he just looks weak in front of his rivals. Every time he goes in front of the Pikes and say, I need money, and they're like, we're not giving you money, we're paying 2 different people. He looks weak. This other guy is like, nobody respects you. Give me my fucking stapler back. And he's like, okay, here's your stapler. And then
Come join me, brothers. No.
and then nobody do anything. Okay, you're not going to help me. Okay, fine. He's
Remain
just
neutral.
looking weak. So those are his fuck-ups, and those are his badass moments. And it really, I think Boba is a badass, but it's just not coming through in the series in the way that we were hoping and the way that we wanted. And his new creed of ruling through respect instead of fear sort of contradicts everything we've seen so far. But he's been transformative. He's been transformed into a new character who constantly has his helmet off. You know, are we going to eventually see the tribe Mandalorians give him shit for that since he's supposedly a Mandalorian? Is that going to tie in at all or no? Because Bo-Katan keeps her helmet off and stuff. Well, anyways, I just wanted to go over those few things just to remind people he has done some badass stuff. It's just not really coming through. And hopefully, these next 2 episodes, you only have 2 episodes left. Can we redeem the character? Can we get Boba back up to badassery? What do you guys think?
No, I mean, there's even more scenes that we glossed over on the things that he reprimands his lieutenant for flashing a gun at someone who is screwing with him. I mean, that's a bit that is like a really big scene, and he wants to lead through respect and fear, but he's being portrayed as a character that nobody respects, especially in the crime syndicate world. This isn't the daycare of Tatooine. He's going up against the Hutts and the Pikes, and he's asking for permission from like other sub bosses. Will you circle yes or no if you want to join my little troop? Like, this is a guy who doesn't deserve respect. He looks like a coward, and if someone shot him in his sleep, I wouldn't be upset anymore.
Oof.
Look, seriously, this is a character.
I'm not going that far.
I read these books as a kid.
I'm hoping that they redeem him in episode 6 and 7, and I'm looking forward
it's not looking good.
to that happening.
Because this one episode just like smashed everything that the series has done.
Yeah. It's not one episode that smashed everything that the series has
there's
done.
4 that
there's multiple.
No, I'm just saying, like, this Mando one is like, oh, this is so much better.
Oh,
like,
that's what you're it's showing
it's
that
showing
it
like
could
he
be
could be a
done
badass
in a different way. Yeah. I agree with that.
And he has respect. Okay. You could tell has respect. This one, they need to write him better.
Definitely. And even the actor has said multiple times, like, look, I need to wear my helmet, and I need to say less. I need to act more like a badass.
Yeah.
So listen to your own actor. But these things are already filmed. So 6 and 7. I think this is a mini-series. I don't think there'll be a season 2 of Boba Fett, especially with the reception that Disney's seen. I think they'll roll him into Mandalorian season 4 if they go that far or something like that. I don't think we'll see a season 2 of Boba Fett. I'm not ready to say they fucked him up yet. We got 2 episodes left, so stick with us for those 2 episodes. Thank you so much. Put your opinions down below. We appreciate you coming by and support our show by contributing to us on Patreon. Click those links down below, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye, guys.